Hey, I'm Allison with FlickDirect, and we are here at the Miami Jewish Film Festival, and I am speaking with Ofir Raul Graizer. Hello,
Hi,
sir.
hi, Alison.
Hi. So you, several years ago, did the Cakemaker. Now you're bringing America.
Yeah, I'm coming back to Miami and to the U.S. I'm doing a tour with a number of festivals now with new film America. It's a different film than the Cake Maker. It's my second film. Cake Maker was the first one, and it's great to come back here and give this film to the audience. It's a time where it's not so normal or common, the idea of giving a film on the big screen to the audience after the last, crazy 2 years. So
Yes.
we are all very thrilled and happy to be able to do that.
After the success of the Cakemaker, were you concerned or nervous about bringing another film? Or were you excited? What was the overwhelming thought process and feeling behind it?
I mean, I was of course nervous and excited about everything, but I was mostly about making the film I wanted to do. It was the
Mm.
second film. There is a thing with when a first film comes pretty well, also by the critique and also by the audience. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of like stress. You got to do this. It has to be as good as or whatever. I don't care about that. I just wanted to make the film I wanted to make without thinking I have to fit into some kind of agenda or some kind of standard. I just wanted to make the best film. I want to make the best film on the film which is right for me, right for my vision, and telling the story I want to tell, and doing it the best way I can and the right way,
Hmm.
without thinking how do I compare, to my previous work. I think it's really important to focus on that, and that made me enough nervous and excited without even thinking about the aspect of how is it gonna work out. It's just doing it.
Was it easier for your second film, or was it more difficult in some ways?
um, Both. I mean, it was
Mm.
definitely easier to finance it. It
Yes.
was easier to attract people to it, to attract the cast to it,
Mm.
to get it going. It was easier, but then there was a pandemic. And so this has caused, like, I mean, to all productions, to
Yes.
everything, it caused a lot of problems and made the budget, of course, a bit higher. And but I mean, it wasn't just the thing with the lockdown and all of that. It was everything around it. It was
Mm.
the bureaucracy. It was
Mm.
the rules changing every time, the uncertainty of things. I mean, we pushed the production twice, and then we made it earlier than planned, and
Oh,
then when we were shooting in the shoot we had to like suddenly
shut down
shut
again.
down, but not really shut down. We actually
Okay.
had to, like, we were about to lose like a day
Oh.
in the end because there was another lockdown coming and every day.
Oh.
So we kind of like, in masks in the heat in Israel in August,
Oh.
September. So you're wearing a mask, and the lights of the and
Yeah.
the makeup is, so all the crazy things that could happen and much more. This is like but the thing is that we made a film, we
Yeah.
made a film in spite of, so it was, I think, much more difficult,
Mm.
um, to just stay focused. Staying focused was difficult this time, but we did it.
Makes sense. Why America? Why not call it something else?
Well, when we were thinking a lot about title, but America for me was like the real title, because in the film, a very small part of it takes in America, and
Right.
sometimes, one thing in life, small thing in life, defines who we are or who we want to
Mm.
be, and that's the story of the main character, Eli, who is an Israeli guy who left Israel 10 years ago and went to
Yes.
America and built a life of his own, and became a swimming instructor in Chicago, and he kind of like created himself in America, created his own
Mm.
destiny. But the film starts when he goes back to Israel
Mm.
and he's kind of forced to stay there.
Right.
And even though he's forced to stay there, America stays a part of him, and he always wants to go back.
Ah, okay.
So this thing of this idea of wanting to go back, of wanting to have something, or having some kind of idea of life that you want to get to, you want to reach it. That's the idea behind America. When I grew up as a kid in the 80s in Israel, America for me was like a fantasy. I mean, I only
Really?
visited America for the first time in 2017. I was
Wow.
37 years old, I
Wow.
think. So all of my life as a child, growing up, a teenager, even half of my adulthood, America for me was like an idea. It wasn't, reality.
Mm.
And the idea that we had, that like we perceived, from Israel and also from Germany, where I live in the last 12 years,
Mhm.
America is where, it's something that we've been exposed to in all the movies we saw, in all the TV we
Yeah.
saw, the music we heard. We always had like images of New York and Los Angeles, Hollywood,
Yeah.
Disneyland, all of these things. So it's a very like naive,
Mm.
perception. Um, but not only naive, it's just a distant land, like a
Mm.
distant land. So this distance is a part of the story in the film.
I want to talk about the lead actress, whose name I'm going to butcher. Um, it
Should I help you?
Ashra Ash.
Oshrat in
Oh,
Gedashet.
see, there you go. Gesundheit. Anyway, so she won at the Jerusalem Film Festival Best Actress.
Yes.
And she comes from a television background. So, how was it working with her? Um, did she fit right into that aspect of film? Did you have to work with her more than, per se, the other actors?
I mean, we did have like a very strong process together.
Mm.
Um, she did a lot of theater mostly. She also did like
Okay.
TV shows, but
Yeah.
most she worked 10 years in the theater in
Wow.
Bima. Um, this was the first time she did like a main role in a
Yeah.
feature film for the big screen. So we did have to work, on the character and on the acting, the type of acting,
Yes.
because it's a bit different, but also because it's different for me because I have my own method and my own system to work with actors and to build a character. I like to find the points in which a character meets the actor and the actor meets the
Okay.
character. I like, and the thing that happened with Oshrat, that she brought some of the things in her own life, private stories. She
Okay.
brought them into the story in a way through this process of working together and conversing, and it was really a beautiful process, very challenging, very 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 deep and very profound. But I mean, I'm not objective, of course. It's my film, but I feel like you see it on the screen, you feel it
Yeah.
in the movie, you feel like these actors, like these characters are real. They don't feel like fictional character, even though they are.
Right.
I feel like they have a life beyond the screen,
Yes.
and the acting reflects that.
Yes. Yes. And she just kind of radiated. Your focus immediately goes to her, which is fantastic. Where did this idea come from, and how did it change in terms of from when you started writing through to the end product?
It came from different things. It came from images that I've had. I had an image in my head. Sometimes I see something, and then somehow I say,
Mm,
"Okay, I want to see that on the screen,"
nice.
and I built something around it. My experience as an immigrant living in Germany, whenever I go back to Israel, I always have to confront my identity, confront my home, the place I
Okay.
came from, the place I grew up with, and I think this is a part of Ellie's journey,
Right.
being away but also being connected to the place you grew up in, the place your family came from. That's, I think it's a strong thing in everybody's life.
Yes.
Doesn't matter where you are, even if you live in the States, you grew up in one state and then you move to another, and so you have this connection, whenever
Yes.
there's always this
Yes.
drama going back, the holiday, the family. So
Absolutely.
this is like something that kind of led the story, but a lot of it was images. I
Oh,
had an image of a woman in a flower shop surrounded by
yeah.
beauty,
Beauty.
but she's not happy.
No.
So this is like one image, and I had an image of two men go swimming in a beautiful, in paradise.
Yeah.
So this
Yes.
is also an image I've had, and I wanted to make a movie about a swimmer.
Mm.
Like I wanted make a film about someone who uses water to save people, to save children. And I wanted to make a film about plants and flowers, like about this whole nature, the power of nature, because nature for
Yeah.
me is about revival and about giving life. And I think that what we all felt, like, I mean, many of us felt during the COVID-19 pandemic time, that how
Yeah.
important it is nature.
Yeah.
We were stuck at home and we couldn't get out.
Yeah.
And I think, what nature does to us, it's just like it's an important thing to value and appreciate.
Yeah, it helps us renew as well.
Totally,
Absolutely.
totally.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us. I wish you the most success, even surpassing the Cakemaker, and I can't wait for what's coming with number 3.
Thank you very much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.